Hi everyone. Uh, I hope you guys are doing extremely well. Can someone please confirm whether I'm audible or not? Yes. So am I audible? So am I audible? Okay, it's great. Uh, so am I audible? Okay, it's great. Okay, so today in this video we'll be talking about how to get into product-based companies. So we will be talking about the complete roadmap about how to get into the product-based companies. So we will be starting from the very scratch, like what to do from the basic programming languages to that of the all the coding questions like data structures and algorithms, as well as the projects and everything which we need to do in order to get into the product-based companies. So let's start this video. I'll be sharing my screen where the complete roadmap is there. So let me share my screen. Okay, so we will be talking about the product-based companies, like how to get into product-based companies. So first of all, we will be talking about these all things in this video. So first, we'll be talking about the coding part. As you all know that for software engineering role, you all need is coding definitely, because coding is the most important aspect and you can't neglect it, right? You need to focus on coding. That's then only it is one of the core and essential part to become a software engineer in and to get the roles of software engineer in the companies. So in coding, first you need to focus on any one programming language which you are comfortable. Let it be C++, Java, or Python, in whichever language you are comfortable. So I can if you are comfortable in with pointers, then you can go good to go with C++. And in Java there is no rule or no concept of pointers, so you can uh, take any one of these three, and the fastest is the C++. And if you want to go for the Java backend roles like the Spring Boot and Hibernate and all of these, then you can go for the Java. Or if you want to go for the machine learning aspects like data science, then you can go with the Python. But I must say choose with C++ or Java only, because these are the good to go languages, because Python is somewhat slow language. Because if in future if you are going for the competitive programming, then C++ and Java are somewhat faster than the Python, and C++ is the fastest one. So you can choose any one of these three. Almost all companies give choices of these three in the coding rounds. So the first thing which you need to do in the programming languages in either of these three, you can do is first you need to learn its standard template library, which means you need to learn its data structures, like how the data structures are implemented, how the syntax of its data structures. Like if you want to declare an array, then how to declare an array in C++, or how to declare an array in Java, how to declare an list in Python. Okay, like this. So learn its standard template library, or you can say correction framework. Next thing is you need to learn its oops. Oops is one of the most important concept which is definitely asked in interviews. It is the object-oriented programming concept, which is almost same in everything in either of these languages, like encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, and all of these. This is the most important aspect which is definitely tested in the interviews. Even it refers to the clean and quality code. It basically falls in the clean and quality code aspects. So you need to focus on the oops concepts, which basically includes the security principles like encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, and inheritance, reusability of the code. All of these things are tested, or they are given in the oops. So learn these two things. And the third one is your recursion and backtracking. So when you are comfortable with either of the languages, then try some hands-on problems on recursion and backtracking. Those are like the implementation or ad hoc problems, like The problem, you can say, it's finding out the factorial of a number, which is basically a recursion problem, or it can be done iteratively also. But I am saying that in order to master the division or master the recursion, initially to be able to comfortable with the recursion, you can go for the implementation problems like Fibonacci series, factorial, and all of these, and some backtracking problems also. So this is the first aspect which you need to do. First, you need to focus on any one programming language, either of C++, Java, or Python, and then you need to learn these three components of either of these three languages. So after this, you are good to go and familiar with the programming language, its basic syntax and semantics, as well as its standard template library and all. So after this, the second thing which you need to focus on is the data structures, which is the crucial part and the most important part in every coding interviews. In almost every coding interview, either it is product based or service based, almost all companies nowadays ask data structures and algorithms questions, and product based companies love to ask the questions from data structures and algorithms. So in data structures, they are mainly, these are the main data structures on which you are tested in the interviews as well as in the coding rounds. So first is your arrays, in which you were tested. Next is your After arrays, you will be tested on the linked list. Arrays are basically one-dimensional arrays or two-dimensional arrays. You can learn these two. These two are the most important parts in the arrays, and various problems are also given in arrays, like printing the spiral of a matrix or wave print of the matrix. So matrix problems are related to arrays, which is definitely asked in the interviews. So this you can definitely learn, because arrays is one of the most crucial parts in data structures, and in almost all interviews, on in almost all problems, arrays is the essential part, because all of the other data structures like linked lists, stacks, queues, heaps, these all are implemented by using arrays only. So it is the crucial data structure. Next coming is the linked list. Linked list, basically various types of linked lists are there. It is single linked list, double linked list, or circular linked list. All of these linked lists are uh, very important, because these all are related to each other. And linked list is one of the most famous topic in interviews, not in the coding rounds, in interviews. Because in coding rounds, linked list questions are not asked, but in interviews they are asked, and they are most one of the favorite topic in interviews. So linked list is also one of the most important data structure. And next is your stacks and queues. Stacks and queues, of a good number of problems are asked from stacks and queues, which are definitely, they are asked in various interviews in the top companies, in product based companies. So stacks and queues you can do. This is a good data structure which you need to focus on. And quality questions are also came from these two, like circle tool problem in the queues, which is basically important one. And various other problems like parenthesis checking problem is related to stacks. So this is you can do. And next is coming to the next data structure is the heaps. Heaps is the most I think favorite data structure, because in heaps, what you can do is that most of the types of questions which are asked in heaps are basically like finding out the frequent elements, or the maximum or minimum in the data structure, in the problems. Like if you want to find out uh, top k frequent elements in the array, then you can find out using the heaps. Basically the top n problems or top k problems are related to heaps. And next is your hash map. Hash map is one of the most important data structure, because it basically done most of the things in order of one time. Like if you want to search an element in the hash map, then it can be done in order of one time. And if you want to insert something in the hash map, then it also done in order of one time. It is amortized order of one time. So it is a good data structure, and a good number of problems like longest consecutive sequence, which was previously asked in Google. These type of questions are asked in hash map, like to finding out the sub arrays whose sum is zero, finding out equal number of zeros and ones in the array. Like this, the quality questions are asked from hash map. So hash maps and heaps, these are the most important. And in coding questions, it is one of the favorite topics in coding rounds. A good number of questions are asked from hash maps and heaps. Next is tries. Tries is generally not asked, but it is somewhat considered as the advanced data structure. And if a company wants to ask something advanced in the data structure, then it can they ask from tries. good problems are asked from tries, like the autocomplete feature or the suggestion feature in the Google. Like if you type CODIN, then it will automatically give you various things like coding ninjas, coding like this. The autocomplete or suggestion box, which will be provided in the Google, that basically done with the help of tries. So uh, this is also a good concept, but it is generally comes under advanced data structure. So some companies, it can ask if they want to ask higher question, then they can ask from tries. Next is the binary trees and binary search trees. It is a very good and very important topic coming to interviews as well as coding rounds, because in trees basically it involves recursion, and it is a solves most of the problem in order of logarithmic time, because that is the equals to height of the tree. And binary search trees are also equally important, that basically an advanced version of binary trees. So it is one of the favorite topic in the interviews. A good and quality number of questions are asked from binary trees and binary search trees. And the next is your graphs. Graphs is also an important concept. It is asked in coding rounds as well as in interviews, and usually graphs is considered as the um, kind of intermediate to difficult concept, and it is a very interesting concept because quite a good number of algorithms like breadth first search, depth first search, cycle detection in graph, various other algorithms like strongly connected components, these are asked in graphs. So these are the data structures which you need to do, and these are the most important data structures. And in these, linked list is generally not asked in coding rounds. It is asked in interviews only. Rest all topics, these can be asked in coding rounds. And the favorite one which are asked in coding rounds is your heaps and hash maps. These are the most important which are asked in coding round. Definitely you will find a one question on heaps. And graphs. Graphs, these are the important concepts. So coming to the next one, next is your algorithms. So in algorithms, after talking about data structures, then you need to uh, run your algorithms in those data structures, because suppose if you have stored your data in the array, and you need to find out the data which is parent and the fifth index in the array, then how you can optimize your algorithm such that it will give your answer in the quick time, and in the faster way it can result in the query. Okay, so the algorithms are usually various types of algorithms are there, in which the most important one which are asked in the coding round as well as in the interviews are listed these. First is the binary search. Binary search is the most important because a good number of questions was already asked in binary search in product-based companies like book allocation problem, painter partition problem, aggressive cows like this. Even it is asked in competitive programming as well. This topic uh, is definitely tested in the coding round as well as in the competitive programming. Coming to next is your searching and sorting algorithms like your quick sort, merge sort, heap sort, and bubble sort, or you can say insertion sort also there. So these are the searching and sorting algorithms like linear search, binary search. Uh, in this also question is tested, but it is usually asked in the uh, coding rounds as well as in the interviews. It is also a good topic because it will clear your basic of the sorting and searching how it basically works. And next is your dynamic programming. This is the most important. You will definitely find one question of dynamic programming in almost every company's interview as well as in coding round. Dynamic programming is the most important programming paradigm, and because it solves quite a large number of problems from exponential time to that of the quadratic time, order of n square or order of n. So definitely you will be tested one question on dynamic programming in coding rounds as well as in interviews also. So this is the must to do concept. Next is your breadth first search and depth first search. Breadth first search and DFS both are good algorithms which are tested on your graphs. So this is the most famous algorithm. When you learn graphs, then you will definitely learn BFS and DFS because these are usually run on graphs, and these are the algorithms on which through which you can traverse your graph as well as your trees also. Trees also you traverse your trees. So basically it is a traversal technique, like how you want to traverse your graph or your trees. So this is the another important algorithm, because by using this only you can traverse your graphs as well as trees. Coming to next is your string matching algorithm. String matching algorithm is your so it is string matching. So string matching algorithms basically says you like suppose you are given a string and you are given a pattern. You need to find out whether that pattern exists in the string or not. For example, like the string is coding ninjas and the pattern is coding. Now you need to find whether the pattern coding exists in the string coding ninjas or not. So this can be solved using various algorithms like your KMP algorithm, which is the string matching algorithm. So KMP algorithm you can use to find out this. Another is the Z algorithm, which by using which you can find out this string match whether the pattern exists in the string or not. And other also there like our naive algorithm is also there, but naive algorithm usually take more time. So these are the algorithms like KMP. KMP is the most famous one which you need to learn. First, you need to learn naive algorithm, then you need to learn KMP. Even if you skip that algorithm, then it's also fine. Naive and KMP are the most important and must need to do if you are doing the string matching algorithms. So focus on naive and KMP. It's good to go. So these are all the algorithms which on which you are tested in coding rounds as well as in the interviews, and these are the most famous algorithms as well as the data structures which I told you already. So these two things, when you do properly, the data structures complete all of these and the algorithms, then you definitely master and you have a good grasp and hold on data structures and algorithms. Now after doing this, now you need to prepare for the interviews, like the questions, interview questions, from where you can prepare the interview questions. So there are some platforms like interview preparation platforms, the platforms on which you can solve the questions which are asked previously in the coding rounds as well as in the interviews of companies. So you can get the real questions which are asked in the interviews as well as coding rounds. So these are basically like, first is Code Studio. In Code Studio, you find a nicely written uh, platform where you can find the guided paths, where you will get the path. Like if you want to learn Java, then you can find out the Java path, or you can, if you want to learn Python, then you can find out Python path. There's a complete dedicated path in which notes is there, problems are there, and theory and everything is present in which you can easily learn these. Also, if you want to learn new technologies like machine learning, blockchain, you can find those also. And apart from this, you can, if you want to learn data such as algorithms, then you are also got all of these in guided paths. Also in Code Studio, you got interview experiences, which is a very crucial part in the interview preparation, because if you don't know the experience of the other candidates, then you can't be able to understand it. But what kind of questions are asked in the interviews. So interview experiences are also there, as well as the DSA problems. They are there only, right? DSA is definitely there. The coding problems which are asked in the previously in the interviews of the various companies. So this is a good platform in which you will find everything in a structured manner, a guided path, interview experiences, and DSA, everything. Next is the lead code. Lead code is very good platform. In this, you find out DSA problems which was previously asked in the interviews, but the company tag was missing here in the lead code, which you can get by buying the premium version only. And in Code Studio, you will get the company tag without any premium version. You will get it in free only. So that's a good advantage of Code Studio. Everything you get in free. Elite Code is also good. It is good one, but the thing is, you can't be able to find out the company tags in which company it was asked previously. Okay, and interview experiences are there in the lead code. Interview experiences are there, but that is basically on on the tab which in the front page of the lead code, where the people can submit their interview experiences, and you will get from there. And guided paths is not there in the lead code. Somewhat now some paths are coming in the lead code also, like DP path, some DP series, and some binary search series. Now it came in the lead code only, but previously it was not there. Now you can check it out. Some guided paths are also there in the lead code now. Next is interview bit. Interview bit is, there are good number of problems are there. In that, there are some buckets are there. You can solve one question from each bucket, because a bucket basically includes a type of question or a pattern of question. Okay, so there are various types of buckets and various questions falls in those buckets. So you need to solve at least one problem or in from each of the buckets, so that you are familiar that what kind of questions are asked in the coding rounds from that pattern. Okay. Next is Geeks for Geeks. Geeks for Geeks is, it is most important and one of the most favorite platform of everything, all the coding, or everyone who is doing preparation for the interviews. You can find tons of um, interview experiences and coding questions in Geeks for Geeks, and so you can find out various things in Geeks for Geeks. There are numerous of questions and well interview experiences. So these four are the interview preparation platforms, and you can choose as per your convenience. All of these are good. Okay, and with these you are good to go for the interviews, because you will know what kind of questions are usually asked in the interviews, and the top question which was previously asked in the interviews, they are all listed there. Now coming to the next, after preparation for the interviews, now if suppose uh, you want to do competitive coding, like if you are interested in competitive coding, building your profile in competitive coding, then you can go for code chef as well as code forces. These two are the most important and favorite sites of the almost every SG aspirants who is preparing for the coding rounds. CodeChef as well as CodeForces, these two you can use as a coding platform, and there you will get ratings. Like here you will get stars, and here you will get ratings. Then those you can write in a resume, because that will definitely help you in the resume shortlisting process. That we will discuss later in the upcoming part of the video, that how it will help you. But if you are interested in the competitive coding or problem solving, then you can go for these sites. But this interview preparation platform, these you need to go, you must need to go, because in order to prepare for interviews. But this is coding platform is the optional one. Those who are interested in problem solving, they can go for it. Okay, so this all constitute of your coding, in which first I told you about programming language, what need to do. It's everything, all essential parts which you need to do. Next, I told you about the data structures, all the essential data structures which you need to do or you need to focus on. And third, I told you about the algorithms. These are all the algorithms which are asked in the interview, and these only you will be getting questions. Next, I told you the interview preparation platform from where you can prepare for the interviews, like the coding questions and the interview experiences and the guided paths from where you can get all of these. And then in the end, I told you about the optional one, which is the coding platforms. Like if you are interested in competitive programming or problem solving, then you can go for these, either of these two, or you can go for both also. Okay, coding platforms. So this is done with the coding. This is the first thing which you need, which you require in order to get into product-based companies, because there are many things which are required in order to get into product-based companies. They test many aspects from you. First aspect is coding, in which I told you everything about coding. Next aspect which is tested in product-based companies is core CS subjects. Okay, so number of questions which you need to solve around 300 plus. If you solve, then it will good to go. Okay, so let me share the link. Okay, so yeah, around 300 if you solve from like from each data structure, if you solve around 20 questions. Yes, from each data structure, if you solve around 20 questions from 20 arrays, linked list, tags, queues, heaps, hash maps, tries, binary search trees, and graphs and algorithms, then you will definitely do around 300 to 350 questions, and they are good to go with 300 questions. At least you need to do 300. It's a good number. If you are doing 300, then it is good to go. Yes, even bachelor's BCA students can also be hired by Microsoft or Amazon or Google, because they basically focus on data such as an algorithms and various other things, which I will tell you in the upcoming video. They don't differentiate in the basis of degree. In off campus, you can apply wherever they require bachelor's degree. Then there you are able to uh, go for the shortlisting process. It just require your good resume for the shortlisting. That's it. After that, it's all your coding skills and nothing about a degree. Ideal number of questions 300. Okay, so okay, that's about the doubts. If you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box. Okay, coming to the next, after writing data structures and algorithms, now it's coding part is done. Next is core CS subjects. In the core CS subjects, these three are the important subjects, and these three only are tested. Even if you are from CS background or non-CS background, these are definitely tested. If you are non-CS background, then your non-CS subjects are not tested. Maybe they are interested to talk about them a little bit, but still, if you are from non-CS, you need to do these subjects. there is uh, no way to escape. Okay, first is database management system. In database management system, the important topics which you need to do is concurrency control, in which basically tells you about how to basically control the lock and lock protocols and everything about locking. And second is the ER diagrams, which basically tells you the relationship between the tables, how the tables are related strongly, whether they are weakly connected or strongly primary key, foreign key relationship between tables and everything. Next is transactions. Transactions basically include asset properties, which is your atomicity, consistency, uh, integrity, as well as durability. All of these four, the asset properties. And the next is your SQL programming language. It is one of the most important in coding rounds. Even in some of the companies in coding rounds, your SQL is tested. One question will be there in SQL about SQL, where you need to find the most important question in SQL, which will be tested, is your joins. You need to join two tables, three tables, any of these, and subqueries. So SQL is one of the most important. You can't neglect it, because definitely if some company is asking from data structures as well as databases, then it will definitely ask SQL. And SQL is also tested in coding rounds as well as in the interviews. Even in some companies are there who are definitely focused on SQL, like Oracle and Teradata. Teradata is also there, and Oracle is there, who focuses on SQL programming language. So SQL is the most important. You can't neglect it. You need to focus on this, and you can't say that if you do only coding, then you are able to go. SQL is also essential part. Okay, database management system is also essential, because how you organize your data, how you manage your data, that is the most important. Because even if you know arrays and all these, but how you manage all of these things, how you manage your data in this memory, that is the crucial part. Next is your normalization, which basically includes forms 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, and 4NF, and BCNF. So how basically your normalization works about the tables. It talks about the redundancy and inconsistency in the tables, such that your data won't be duplicate, right? So normalization falls. It is, you need to focus on normalization. It is important topic, and it is asked in interviews. Okay, next is indexing. It is basically for faster your query searches. Like if you want to find out something in a sorted file, which is a sorted file, then you can apply binary search on that, right? And rather than searching linearly, you can search logarithmically. So indexing basically, it includes B trees and B plus trees. Again, the thing which is used in indexing is B trees and B plus trees, which you already learned in the data structures, right? The B trees. So these all are linked with one another. The coding as well as in the course year subjects, these all are interlinked with one another. So if you know one part, then you are good to go, and you are able to understand the other part also. Indexing is also important for speeding the search queries. Next is file organization. It tells you how the file is, how basically the data is organized in file system, also in the disk management. How your data is saved in the disk, in the disk part in the computer systems. Okay, and next is the relational algebra and functional dependencies. Relational algebra is somewhat similar to SQL, but it is in the form of some other syntaxes are there. Like if you want to, uh, if you are using select query in the projection, select query in the SQL, then it is similar to the projection query in the relational algebra, somewhat like this. And functional dependency show that how the two tables, or how the two columns in a table are dependent on one another. Like a column A is the primary key and column B is the foreign key, then the column B is dependent on column A. Okay, so that's how it works, the functional dependencies and relational algebra. So database management system is the crucial part which you need to do, and these are the topics which you need to focus on. Coming to the next one is the computer networks. Computer networks, it is also asked, and the companies which focuses on networking, those companies usually ask computer networks, like Cisco. Cisco asked computer networks deeply, and other companies also asked, but they asked in overview manner, not in that deep, but still it is asked. Okay, even the companies which asked cloud roles, they also ask computer networks. So first is the OSI model, and all of its layers, like transport layer. The most important layers are transport layer and your network layer. These two are tested, and the functionality of these and many of the protocols are there in these layers. Like there is a ARP protocol, address resolution protocol, and RARP, reverse address resolution protocol, DNS, and DHCP. Various protocols are there, and all of it's functioning and working. So everything is tested in this OSI layer and all of its layer. These are very important. You need to focus on this because in the interviews they ask you what is the functionality of each layer, how the layers are interlinked one another, and how the data goes from top of the presentation layer, application layer, from the application layer to that of the physical layer, how the data is flowing. So this is the important thing which you need to focus on. Similar to OSI, there is another layer called TCP IP model. Basically, it is also a layer, TCP or IP layer. This is also important layer which you need to focus on. These two layers are most important. And third is the congestion control. It basically tells you how you dump your data in the network, because you can't put all of your data in one go. There is something called as congestion in the network, and various topics comes in congestion control, like uh, topics like your window size and sliding your window protocols comes, like sliding window protocols and stop and wait protocols. Various protocols comes in this, and it tells you that what happens if you put all of your data at once rather than putting in some chunks of window, so that the receiver is able to receive the data uh, in a staggered manner, in a manner rather than getting it all at once. Okay, so these all comes in congestion control. Okay, and these topics are very crucial for even if you're preparing for gate exam, right? If you're preparing for gate exam, then you definitely know all these things. But for the coding, for the product based companies, these are also required. So this is the computer networks which you need to know. Coming to the next is operating system. It is also most important uh, topic or subject. Even some questions are there in your coding. Some questions are there who came directly from scheduling algorithms, which are tested with linked with scheduling algorithms. Like in operating system, there is something called scheduling algorithms. In that, there is topics like first come first served, least recently used, least most frequently used, LFU, LRU, like this. So in coding now, even in interviews, they ask you implement LRU, least recently used algorithm, how you implement it, how you implement FCFS, first come first served scheduling policy. So like this, suppose like FCFS, basically it's like a queue. You can implement using a queue. Whatever is coming first, that will be go first. So like this, the scheduling algorithm is most important. Coming to next is process synchronization, which basically focus on that only one process can take the uh, data at a time. Like suppose if you are printing something, then at a time only one person can able to print the data. Because if suppose two persons are printing the data, and if suppose one person are able to print only half and the next half is printed on other person's page, then it will be a conflict, right? So it basically focuses on synchronization, that at a time only one process is able to receive the resource which is present. So it is focused on semaphores is also there, which focuses on these things. Next is your deadlock. Deadlock is also important, which basically tells you uh, in a set of processes how these manner, so that how these work such that uh, the system should not be in a deadlock. Okay, so deadlock is also important. Next is threads. Threads is also important, which is lightweight process. And the most important questions which is asked in interviews is the difference between threads and processes. So like this, you can see threads is also important. And next is memory management. And memory management is another important concept, in which the concept like paging is asked. And they will ask you about segmentation paging and what kind of paging is there, and how your memory is organized, how the processes are coming and sitting in the frames of main memory. All of these things are asked in memory management techniques. And next is the file and disk management. It will basically tells you uh, the disk management techniques. Like if suppose some kind of data you want to read from disk, then at what rates you can transfer those data, and you can read those data at what speed. So operating system is another important subject which you need to do. So these are the core CS subjects, these three which you need to focus on. Okay, so you can apply for the job whenever you are comfortable, and there is a time, like yes, there are various times, like companies usually hire, like you can see in there is something like some companies are hired in the after the June. Some companies hire around December, like Microsoft, oh sorry, Amazon usually hires around December. uh, they hire from the, they hire for the roles of the for the roles of the like SD as well as internship and kind of this. So these kind of roles they are hire. And next, coming to the next one is the aptitude as these roles they hire. Now coming to the next one is the aptitude and reasoning. Aptitude and reasoning is this is also important because some of the companies they asked in the first round they asked aptitude as well as reasoning. Okay, so like some companies like Goldman Sachs as well as Morgan Stanley, they asked from aptitude topics as well as reasoning topics, and it is good one. It is also tested. So aptitude and reasoning you can do from India Bix, as well as there is a guided path in Coding Ninjas from which you can do aptitude as well as reasoning. Okay, and next is the system design. Yes, system design is also important one. And system design, uh, usually companies won't ask for SG1 role, but yes, some companies are asked, like Uber asked for system design, and usually system design asked for SG2 roles. Like Google, Amazon, these asked for SG. In SG, for SG2 if you're applying, then they ask for system design. And in SG1, so all very less number of companies asked, but companies still asked for system design, like Uber asked, and somewhat Microsoft also asked for system design. So it's good, and Twitter is also there. So it's good if you prepare for system design. It's a very interesting and nice topic, because if anywhere, whenever you are going for SG2, you need to learn this only. This is heavily focused in SG2. Okay. Yes, even if you are from any other background like ECE or Triple E, then you need to, you should know compulsory about the core CS subjects. I told you already, even if you are from any other stream, you should know core CS subjects. Okay. What you can do that you can prepare a project from your stream, which is a good one, and then you can show that project in your interview. In that way, they will shift your focus from somewhat, the focus is shifted from core CS to your domain. But still, it will be tested, not in the first round, but definitely in the second round. Somewhat, some questions will definitely be there. Now, next is your, yes. Once you're done with all of these four topics, the coding, core CS, aptitude, and design, these four. After this, now it's part your thing which is other than coding. Okay, other than coding, these are development and projects which you need to show in your resume, because how the company knows whether you, how you are developing the things, because at the end you need to develop the things in the company only, right? You need to develop softwares as well as applications. So in development and projects, there are mainly four domains in which you can do development and projects. First is web development, which is basically includes HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js. React.js is one of the most important nowadays. It is companies highly asking React.js. You can also take Angular also, but React.js is most frequently asked nowadays, and good number of jobs are also there in React.js. And HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they are the base of the web development. And in the backend, you can do Node.js. Node.js is there, which is quite frequently used nowadays. Even not nowadays, in the past few years, Node.js and React.js you can do. It is good. It's like uh, MERN. That is the one stack you can do. That is the, even the companies states in job description that they require MERN developer. And the next is your artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI and ML. This is a topic which is basically you will find in many candidates' resume. They definitely have one project in machine learning, because it is easy to make, and the technology is very good and very advanced, and it requires quite a large number of prerequisites. Not large, but yes, it requires kind of statistics which you need to know, and maths, or you can say linear algebra. Uh, these two are the prerequisite for these. You should know linear algebra, how it is working, the behind of the the graphical representation of everything. Okay, like suppose if you are finding determinant of a matrix, and if the determinant is zero, then how the determinant is getting zero? What is the practical intuition behind this? Okay, all of these, even in the interviews of the machine learning interview, you find questions like describe the graphical representation of eigenvalues and eigenvectors, which is a part of linear algebra. So you need to show the eigenvectors and the formula which is there for eigenvector, like a lambda is equals to I, that formula you need to show the graphically how it is working, how the eigenvalues and eigenvectors are there. So everything you need to show in machine learning role. The companies came for machine learning role, like Amazon is there, which frequently hires from India, but it usually hires from tier one colleges. uh, you can apply off campus. Off campus also hires, and but you need to know these two definitely, then you can good to go for these. Linear algebra is the most important. And next is on Android you can do app development. This you can do app development in Android Studio, or you can do, okay, so you can do Android Studio, one thing, and that is the app development with Java or with Kotlin, any of these two. Nowadays, Kotlin jobs are also there. You can do any of these two, Java or Kotlin. Next is blockchain. Blockchain is what somewhat which you not find in many candidates resume. You will find web development, AIML, and Android. Blockchain is somewhat good. You can do blockchain, and in blockchain you can do your project in Solidity programming language. It is very good programming language, and it is good one. You can do this. Apart from this, there is one another thing which you can do, but you don't find any candidates in any candidate's resume. This is ARVR, because it's very popular, but the resources are very less in the net. So ARVR is very important, and you can do this one. This is a very good one. Currently it is on boom. Facebook is also working on metaverse, so you can do ARVR as well as blockchain. This whole combined is metaverse, ARVR and blockchain. So you can do these projects. Uh, and if you want to stand out from the crowd, then you can focus on blockchain or ARVR. These two definitely will help you to get the shortlisting process, because everyone will do coding, but the development and projects, everyone focus on these three, but you can focus on these two, and that will help you to get stand out from the crowd, but the resources are less, so you need to learn from the documentation only. Okay, so these are the projects and the ideas. Apart from these, there is some add-ons which you can do. If you are interested in problem solving, then you can go for the competitive programming. That is for those only who require who love problem solving. And some companies are there who ask competitive programming, like DirectI, Coordination, Media.net. They heavily focus on competitive programming only. So if you are interested, then you are good to go. Competitive programming basically some topics which the focus is on is number theory. Number theory is the mostly tested in almost every, like hacker earth and hacker rank, when they open their positions for the SD roles, or for the technical content engineer or the tester, that solution test maker, when you making the test cases, then they are asked number theory concepts, segment trees concept. These are tested, and various other are there, like computational geometry, Fenwick trees, like this. So such kind of concepts comes under complete programming. Next is a Google Summer of Code, which you can do as a part of your development. Whenever you are comfortable with any either of these four or these five, then you can go with GSOC. In GSOC, there are organizations which list their projects, and if you are interested in any project, then you can choose this project and work on it, and you get a good amount of stipend, around 1 lakh, I think. 1 lakh you will get in GSOC. And the third is the open source contributions, which you can do on GitHub. Like whatever the organization is there, you can just put work with them. Like, so suppose there is an organization or there is a repository made by some other person who is working on it, and if you are interested to work on that same repository, then you can approach him or her and ask to work. In such a way, it will show you that you are also interested to work on open source contributions on like GitHub, because in the industry, what focused on is the GitHub only, because they need to push your code and git your code, that merge and everything. All of this focuses on this, so it's good if you do some amount of open source contributions. So these are good add-ons. Coming to next, these done with the preparation part. If you do these are preparation part. these five, from coding to development and projects. These are your add-ons. If you do, then it is good. If you don't do, then it's still good. Okay. Now coming to the general part, the resume. Now you have to make your resume only one page that should be crisp, which will mention all of your skill set and all of your coding profiles links. Like if they are good, suppose if you are getting 3 star, 4 star in CodeChef, then you can mention it. Codeforces profile, lead code profile. Usually, Codeforces and CodeChef you can mention. Rest you can ignore. Okay, coding profile. These all you can mention in resume. All skill set and certificates, everything in one crisp one page. That is the thing. Okay, resume you should make crisp one page only, not more than that. Coming to next is your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile, this should you need to focus in your from your second or third year only. You need to make your GitHub profile, mention, oh, sorry, you need to make a LinkedIn profile. In that LinkedIn profile, mention your GitHub link, because recruiters visit your LinkedIn profile, and in that, if you put your GitHub link, then they are able to understand that, they are able to redirect to the GitHub link, and they are able to see all of your projects. So mention the GitHub link in the LinkedIn profile, all coding profile links in the LinkedIn profile, project, skill set, and approach for the referrals, because referrals are there, which basically you can ask for from the employees who are already working in the companies. And see the off-campus drive posts, which usually come in the LinkedIn. Many off-campus drive posts came in the LinkedIn. These are posted by the employees of that company. You can connect with them, and they will post, so that you are able to see the post and apply for the same. LinkedIn you should focus on. Okay. Next is your GitHub profile. GitHub profile, as I said, you can mention in your LinkedIn also. So GitHub profile is important, because some companies solely focuses on GitHub profile. They said that just write on the link of a GitHub profile. From that, they are able to see what kind of development you are doing. Put all your projects there, and the coding question solutions, whichever coding questions you have done here. So those question solutions you can put on the GitHub profile. It is good one. They are able to see that you are doing both development as well as coding. Coming to the next one is behavior round questions. Some companies solely focus on behavior round, like Amazon, which focuses on behavior questions, and some companies have dedicated one round for this, in which they will give you a situation, and then you need to tell what you will do if such situation happens. Like in one company, there is one round. They ask that if suppose your code is not working, your code is not working, and you have a deadline approaching, then what you will do, how you approach, and how you work with your team. Like such kind of behavior questions are asked in the behavior round, and Amazon focuses on this behavior round heavily. Okay. And some other companies are there who take first round as a behavior round. Okay. Next is some puzzles are also there, you can do. Generally puzzles, there are some set of puzzles which you can do, and you are good to go, because same puzzles are normally asked, like the water jug puzzle, where you need to fill the 2 liter with 5 liter, like these kind of puzzles. Burning rope puzzle, ants and triangle puzzle, like this. These you can do. You can find out the famous puzzles even in the code studio also, so you can do from there. And yes, you need to keep an eye on the career page of companies. Like whatever companies you are interested, you just visit the career page and apply from there. Or you can take the referral and then apply from there. Like if you are interested to apply in Amazon, then keep a look on the Amazon's website's career page. Amazon's hires around, I think, October to November. They hire for 6 months intern. Similarly, you can go for various companies in which you are interested, like Amazon, Microsoft, Google. Okay. You need to focus on the career page, and there you will able to see when the opening came, and whenever the opening comes, you just apply on the career page your resume, or you can give your resume to as a referral in a LinkedIn, and they will apply and give you a referral. So you can go either of these two. So this is about the complete roadmap about the product based companies, right from the coding to that of the career page of the companies, and everything in this it is mentioned. So if you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. There is not a single course to learn all of these concepts. We need to learn every concepts, because some Even if in one course you find some concept, it's like that you are you don't understand something, like some things are not uh, nicely taught, then you need to focus on other resources. Okay, so I've given some resources here. From here you can take, these are the good resources from here you can take. Like for coding rounds you can take these four. For core subjects you can take uh, this one, coding ninjas. As well as you can take YouTube. In YouTube also there are various channels where you can go for the core CS subjects. Various gate channels are also there, because core CS is focused on gate, so you can take the gate channels in the YouTube. Various gate channels are there, you can take from there. Those are good one. They teach everything from these. For aptitude you can also take India Bix, or coding ninjas. And some channels are also there for the cat and for the gate. They focus on aptitude. System design you can take from coding ninjas, as well as there is a system design primer book from where on GitHub. From there you can take. If you write system design primer GitHub, you will get a book. That book is a bible of system design. For development there is various one are there. These two courses, I think these three, web development, AI and Android, are present in the coding ninjas. Rest two are not there. And you can take from Udemy or Coursera, or YouTube. Okay, but you can't find everything in a one single place. Okay, but I think there is a one course of coding ninjas career camp. There you will get everything in one single place. Okay, and for competitive, GSOC open these. Competitive is also there. You can there is a course on coding ninjas as well as in YouTube. You can see those. And GSOC there is no course of these. Okay, they will tell you the strategy, but there is no course for these all. But that's it. So that's all about the thing, about the course and everything. Logical thinking ability you can improve, like you are saying about coding rounds, right? If you do the problems of one pattern, various problems, like suppose yeah, hmm, this one, suppose if there is a heaps, and just filter out the heaps questions uh, from sheets. Like there are various sheets, right? SD sheets and various sheets. What I can tell is that one thing you can do, there are 5 6 sheets are present. What you can do, just filter out the heaps questions from 5 6 sheets. Okay, and you will see there are many questions overlapping. Okay, just filter out unique questions from all those 5 6 sheets. There are various sheets, like uh, on which are present in the on the internet. Even you can find all the sheets on the coding ninjas page or code studio platform. Okay, from those sheets you can filter out heaps. On that heaps you can find out the unique questions and then do those questions. In that you require only heap, and whenever you understand one concept, then you are able to get that what kind of concept is there in the heaps. Okay, similarly filter out the hash maps. Take all the questions from all these sheets of the hash map, all the unique questions, and then do all these. Whenever you do 2 3 questions, you are able to understand a pattern, and that pattern you will understand, then your logical thinking definitely improve. Because whenever you do the questions, then your logical thinking improve. Similarly, like you are doing for linked list, right? Filter out all the unique questions from all the 6 sheets, 5 6 sheets which are present in internet, and do all these. You will get understand. And even in interviews, questions are asked from these mixtures of these sheets only. Even if some unique question asked, then it will be basically focused on that previous questions which are asked, which are present in those sheets. Okay, so they are just twist of those questions. So you can do, and logical thinking improves whenever you do the questions from those sheets. And I think it is good one if you do all 5 sheets and filter out the unique questions from all those, because in that you will able to understand that all questions are completely covered of that data set. Okay, in that way you will do the questions and your thinking will definitely improve. So any other question? Okay, then thank you very much and all the best.